Hi everyone, Christine Abrams here at Christine's Craft Table, here to celebrate day 8 of National Crochet Month and the challenge put forth by Ola Joe, the crocheting sailor, for all of us to do videos covering all of these wonderful topics. And here is the day 8 topic, crochet controversy, magic ring or chain ring. And this is something that some people feel very strongly about. I am not one of those people. So I'm going to give you my take on it and a little demonstration to help you see that there really isn't that much of a difference in the end product once you have started with either one of these methods to make your beginning ring. I am catching up still, so I still have days 2, 3, and 4 to produce, but I will have those out soon for you. And let's get started. I'll be using Hobby Lobby I Love This yarn for both squares, and the first one will be started with the chain method, and then the second will be with the magic ring. I had to make sure. Okay, so we're just going to make a chain of 4 after the slip knot on my hook. These are 4-weight yarns. And then you just insert your hook on that first chain. Put your finger in to make sure you have enough room to work your stitches. That's really important. Makes it much easier to work with that chain. Start. And here I'm making a chain 3 to start my granny clusters. There's the first stitch into the ring. And you keep your finger there for a little while to keep that ring open and easy to work into. And once you've worked your first few stitches into that ring, it's easy to find. You're not going to get confused and put your hook in other places. Some people say the chain's hard to work with for that reason, but if you start with your finger in the middle there, it really does make a difference and help you get started. When you start with a chain, you will end up with a little bit thicker ring in the middle, just because you are working over those first stitches as opposed to working over a single thread when you start with the magic ring. And you'll see that. It's probably more noticeable the thicker the yarn that you work with. With this 4-weight, it really isn't that noticeable, but I can tell if I squeeze both centers. I can tell one is thicker. So I can't remember if I already told you, but I don't really have a preference for either method. I use whatever the pattern calls for, and I'm comfortable with both. The chain method I find I'm a little bit quicker with, and I think that's because it's not as hard to get those first stitches in because it's nice and the ring you're starting with is nice and thick and it's not moving around or anything, so it's quicker to get started. Whereas when you're working with that magic ring, you'll see it flops around a little bit more, so you I wouldn't say struggle, but you have to work a little bit harder when you're getting those first stitches in to keep everything orderly. And so I think I took maybe 40 seconds longer for the second square than I did for the first. Not incredibly different. Okay, so there's my first round of a granny square starting with the chain circle or the chain ring. And it does tighten up nicely. The reason it tightens up is because you did work over that beginning tail, and that makes it easy to close up those stitches. Here we're starting on the magic ring. I always start mine the same way, over 3 fingers. I know you can use 2 or even 1. I just learned this way, so it's easy. You always want to make sure you have that X on the back, and then the 2 parallel lines on the front. And getting that first stitch is probably the trickiest part, but once you have your hook through that, you've got your ring. And then I just untangle that tail, and then I start again working over it with the stitches Sometimes I accidentally start working with the tail instead of the working end of the yarn. So I do need to watch that because I tend to have kind of long tails. I leave long tails for weaving in at the end. And now I'm working my double crochets into the magic ring, and you can tighten it as you go so you don't have a super big ring flopping all over the place. And like I said, once you get 3 or 4 stitches in, it firms up and it's much easier to work in. I do like how neat it looks when you're done with that first row, when you're using the magic ring. There you can see it. I struggle a little bit. It gets a little wonky. And that left hand of mine goes all over the place, but it gets the job done. I noticed when I finished too, there's no big difference in size other than the little bit of thickness in the center as far as the size of the square or anything if you're starting with one or the other. They're about the same. And I will also say that you can tighten up that ring that starts with a chain as much as the magic ring by, when you're finished with the project, take that tail that's left in the middle and weave it through every other stitch in that center, and then give it a tug, and you will certainly be able to tighten that circle up and close it up. I don't mean to imply that you cannot get it as tight as the magic ring. It just takes a little bit more work. And there you have the square made with the magic ring. And it tightens up there very nicely. So the green is with the magic ring, the red is with the chain. And you can probably tell looking at it now that center is a little bit poofier, but not much, really not much. And there's the back side. Front. And back. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed my little demonstration for day 8 of National Crochet Month. And I will see you again next time. Please don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, give me a comment, and if you want to see the next video, hit the bell. Thank you.